Good afternoon, everyone. We're here for another episode of Between Two Fake Trees with Zach Miller and Chris Shelton.
These trees have grown a lot since the last time we spoke, Chris.
It's an amazing thing to see, a fake tree growing, isn't it?
Watering grows trees.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did know that. Fake trees especially. And interestingly, these are award-winning trees.
Whoa.
Believe it or not, they have won awards.
What award did they win?
Well, it's award season, so they're always winning awards. When is award season, Zach?
Award season is always and often.
Tell us more.
All right, so there's a concept that I believe that people are good at what they do, their skill set, whatever, and they're too, let's use the word relaxed in promoting themselves, right? And so there's a way that you can promote yourself to win awards, which, by the way, are always available to win 24/7, 12 months out of the year. So it's award season. So whatever you do, whatever like the keyword is that you associate with your life, your business, your career, whatever, plus whatever the city you're in, plus award, it's award season.
But wait, don't you have to be nominated for awards?
You do, but the crazy thing is you can actually nominate yourself oftentimes.
Is that right?
Have you ever nominated yourself?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Okay, and how did that go?
It went pretty well. We won.
What a coincidence.
That's right. It felt, I've got to say, it does feel a little awkward the first, maybe the second, maybe even the fifth time that you nominate yourself or your business for an award. But the rewards of having done that, should you win or place or frankly get any sort of media acknowledgement, aka free PR, then it's well worth the aggravation of having to apply for the awards and get over yourself pretty much. I find that a lot of people hesitate to apply for awards or even sort of boast, if you want to use the word, boast about themselves is a difficult thing for a lot of people to do, especially if you err on the side of humble. Some people don't have any trouble with that whatsoever, but for those that do, it's just one of those things like public speaking. You've got to get over it.
So if you're afraid to nominate yourself, the simple answer is go ask your best friend to fill out the answers for you, right? A lot of times. So again,
or at least do a draft,
Yeah. So I recognized this maybe in 2010 time frame. And what was crazy is I was very early on in my business career, and I was trying to do things that got attention. And someone actually nominated me for my first award, and then I won. And I was like, wait a second.
I can do this.
First of all, I'm not qualified to win this award, but somehow I was qualified enough to win that award, and then it got me into the media. And what I learned from that was, it was free media publicity. They kept talking about me, and then all these other people who I wanted to be customers or see me were seeing me and were giving me time of day because I was able to associate myself with award-winning person associated with bigger publicity, bigger credible authority than myself. And I have this saying, if you qualify, apply. So if you qualify for an award, you should apply again. So the easy way to do this is whatever your keywords are in your business. So it could be like coffee shop plus Norfolk plus award. You Google that, you Bing that, because we have to talk about Bing sometimes too, I think. If you put those things in the Google machine, into the search engine.
Neither here nor there, but yes.
What you'll find is that there's a tremendous amount of local awards, national awards, regional world awards, and in many cases, global awards. And what is an amazing thing that most people don't realize is an underwhelming amount of people do not apply for these awards.
Wait, so much. A double negative. An overwhelming amount of people do not apply, meaning there is an underwhelming
double negatives
number.
Mean it's a positive.
Yeah, okay.
2 negatives mean a positive. I don't know.
Well, let me make sure that we understand what you were saying.
Not a lot of people apply for awards. Correct. Sorry for the...
That's all right. Now we can get over it now.
If you guys have questions about this, feel free to ask throughout.
So the point is, not a lot of companies or people apply for these awards.
Mm-hmm.
These awards are, in a way, sort of its own little mini industry, especially among media organizations who are offering the awards. It could be media organizations, it could be chambers of commerce. Whoever is offering the awards, there is a reason that they are offering the awards, and it is not specifically to the benefit of the applicants or the nominees or winners. There are things that is going to do positively for their business, for their organization.
The publication.
Right. Who's offering the award.
Yeah, because they want to show off businesses. They want more eyeballs on them, and they realize that if once a year they can do it. So if you were to do the Grammys every month of the year, it wouldn't be as exclusive, right? If you were to do the Oscars once a month, it wouldn't be as exclusive. Mm-hmm. Fortune 500s, this is, you run a business channel, right? So we got to focus on business-like things, right? If you were to do that every single day, every month, in a frequency that's too much, people aren't going to care about it. But once a year, annually, people are like, oh, wow, this is something that...
And media organizations, that's their business model, is to get attention and then sell it to advertisers. So we just bring that up to make sure you understand the reasoning behind these awards. But the bigger point is not many. Zach and I have both been involved in some of the judging committees for several awards here in the Hampton Roads region. And it's which is a good thing for the judges, because that means it's not many applications you have to actually read through. But if you apply, you're probably, at least for regional awards, just for applying, you probably have like a 20 or 30% chance of winning, just because you applied, because there's not many applicants.
Which, if people start listening to what we're saying, obviously those numbers will go down. But from a frequency perspective, just constantly be applying to awards, because it doesn't take a lot of time. Honestly, the questions are basically the same over and over again. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Give me a description. How long you've been around? How much revenue do you have? Employees? Blah, blah, blah. You have all that stuff probably in some sort of document. Mm-hmm. Copy and paste it. Put it there. Once a week, try to apply to an award. And when you win, you can thank Chris and I for winning that award, for telling you to do this. So there's a lady locally who I told this to maybe 5 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. She was running a security business. And her name is Tracy Link. And what's pretty cool about her is I told her, I was like, hey, Tracy, I think you have this opportunity to win. I think you're doing some cool stuff. No one knows about you. Why don't you apply to the Inside Business Entrepreneur Excellence Award? And she said, okay. And so she did, and she won. Now, in all of her collateral, she says, the winner of the Inside Business Entrepreneur Excellence Award, because it checks off this credibility meter to people and saying, oh, well, I trust or like or engage with Inside Business, and Tracy's associated with that, and she won. And by the way, in your case, just take out Tracy, just put whatever your name is in. And you put yourself in those situations, people are like, oh, well, if so-and-so, vetted for them, or kind of was like, they're cool. Yes. You win.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won.
And that's in addition to the publicity that you're going to gain.
Tons of free publicity.
Initially after you win, or even if you, place, a lot of these awards, mentioned second, third, sometimes fourth place as well. So you're getting publicity from that. If you win, you get a lot more publicity. They're going to run you on their social media. If it's a print publication, you're going to be out there maybe in the newspaper.
Years later, you're talking about them on Between Two Fake Trees.
Yeah. And interestingly, so my business, Cureo Coffeehouse, won the 2017 Norfolk Small Business of the Year Award from the HR Chamber.
Did you know who was a judge that year?
This guy right here, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. I'm not a service.
Though there was no conflict of interest, we hardly had interactions at the time. So the point I was making is we happen to, if you look up HR Chamber Small Business of the Year Award on Google, you're presently, and I hope they change it, reflecting the current winners, but Cure Coffeehouse is still the page that it flips to.
Yeah.
Just an anomaly in the SEO. So here we are 2 full years out past our win, and we're still, the predominant showpiece for the Small Business of the Year Award.
So let me ask you this. So you win, you nominate yourself. It's great. Did you nominate yourself? Did you? Or did you have someone nominate?
Someone asked me, mentioned that we should apply.
Okay.
So I self-applied.
Okay, so you self-apply. You get the nomination because in this case they had to then have finalists. Mm-hmm. And then from a finalist you became the winner of the city and you win that award, right? So by the way, we'll talk about nominations in a minute and how you can leverage and capitalize on that. But it's been 2 years. That actual thing is in 2 days. The next competition is in 2 days. Mm-hmm. Are you going?
Yeah, the award show. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I'll see you there. Wasn't a judge this year. So what have you done with that information from winning that? Do you do anything with it? Because I believe a lot of times it's not just winning, it's what you do with it afterwards.
It's what you do with it afterwards.
If you guys have questions, feel free to ask in the comments.
Please
now.
Do.
And if you're watching this years later, that's fine. Ask comments in the comments as well.
So the question to me is, what have we done? Probably not enough after having recently read Zach's book, Anomaly. I think that we can do a lot more with it. Truthfully, I don't think that we display it on our website. We probably should, or mention it on our social media channels. We probably should. We did post the banner, the large, 5 foot by 3 foot banner that they
you took that down
gave us. We have to, because it said 2017 on it, and we felt that it at 2 years out now, it's kind of dated to be up.
You're not allowed to win more than once, though.
I'm sorry?
You can't win more than once.
You can, for that particular award, is got to be a 3-year gap.
Okay, so in 2020, we expect you to apply again.
This is true.
So then you can tell there's a story in there. Why didn't you win in 2018? We're not allowed to win.
Mm-hmm. So this is we're illustrating. We're illustrating what perhaps you should consider doing, what maybe you ought to do. It's one of those things where there's so many things that you can be doing with your marketing and social media. For us specifically, we have not put as much focus on it, from like 2017 until now as we should. And I assure you, after this conversation, now that it has come to light, that I'll bring it up with our marketing folks and get the logo for the Small Business Award on our website at least.
I would do that. I mean, if you can win the award multiple times too, you can be like the 2-time winner, the 3-time winner, the 4-time winner. But I hinted at this earlier, where nominations. So really the whole thing here, I believe, is capitalizing on the bigger brand than you. Forbes, Inside Business, Start Wheel, Zach Miller's Unicorn Business, whatever it is, right?
Right.
The Washington Post, Tidewater Biz. What are some other ones that I'm missing that you've brought up? Cova Biz magazine.
That's them.
Pilots, Best of Pilot. There's a ton, right? And by the way, Chris and I, if you haven't seen this yet, it's because it hasn't been sent to publish, but we're working on a It's Award Season Baby blog post, so you guys will see that soon.
And we'll have a list of awards, some industry specific. A friend of ours, Carl Cleanthus with Epic Made, sent me a great list of creative, digital, and like web marketing agency awards. So for that arena, we'll have those awards. We'll have all of the local ones that we can possibly come up with. Local here to Hampton Roads.
And if there's an award that you don't see, tell us, and we'll add it. Or we'll think about adding it, because if we don't want to add it, we won't add it.
Sure.
So it's,
but we likely will.
Right, likely will. So you're nominated for an award. A lot of people would say, well, and then you don't win. A lot of people would say, oh, I didn't win. I suck. I lose. I can't do anything with it. I get it. However, many people will still look at that as an opportunity to promote themselves, right? So if I was to tell you that Beyonce has won something like 14 Grammys, you would say, wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. What if I was to tell you that Beyonce has been nominated for some like 80 Grammys?
It's a bigger number.
It's a bigger number. Now, I'm not saying don't talk about the wins, but I'm saying if you haven't won, I still believe that you could say Beyonce is an 80-time nominated Grammy artist or some form of that. And I think you can capitalize on that. And so let's say that you didn't win that award from the Chamber. You could have just said Cure Coffeehouse, 2017 Hampton Roads Chamber Small Business of the Year nomination, something like that. Right? And so you want to win, absolutely. We all want to win. But you can still capitalize on just being nominated and win just as much from it.
That's right. And lucky for us, we did win. And it was a good time. We had a big table at the gala.
I got a big check because I was one of the judges.
You got a check?
I wasn't supposed to say that because you're here.
Yeah. So I've been a judge for that. There are no checks involved. At least not that I know of. Dude.
Venmo.
Do tell. Yeah, but it was a great time. We really enjoyed it. We got some... they made a video for us. I think that may be hosted on a website. They make videos.
So you're really not capitalizing on these things that I would.
We're not doing a good job of following the prescriptions of your book.
Okay, so here are some things that he's saying. So number one, he won the award, isn't talking about it. They produced a video about it, about Cure Coffeehouse not doing anything with it. Then there's all these other opportunities around this time of year because it's award season to bring that back up and be like, hey, remember we won this. So 2 or 3 things very easily that you could constantly be pushing that you're not from that publication. Now, not all of them are going to do a video, but there's a lot of opportunities to capitalize, to leverage, and you guys are not doing that. Definitely want to do that so that you're not just winning that award. Because here's what normally happens. If a big publication produces some sort of content about you, whether it's writing, whether it's winning an award like this, whether it's a feature piece, usually that thing is only good for that one time that it's out there.
Especially if you put it on social media.
Social media. So let's say it's a magazine. It comes out once a month, right? That magazine is going to promote that basically once during that 1 month because they're going to try to sell for that month.
Right.
Then
we talked a little bit about this in the last episode.
The
social video, back to the same theme with the social video we talked about on the last episode of Between Two Trees with Zack and Chris.
If you guys want to produce our music too, let us know.
Was social video, if you just do, right now we're doing a Facebook Live, it could be a YouTube Live as well, but it would quickly get buried if we did not move to make it more evergreen by putting it on our website, writing a blog post about it, etc. And so this is same thread, right? So you're seeing the fundamentals are peeking through here, and the fundamental is if you get press, if you create content, you need to make specific steps in order to ensure that content is being delivered to your audience when they're looking for it.
You need to be in the driver's seat is the key, right? So if you're waiting on that media organization or whoever is producing that content, they're going to be in the driver's seat during that time when they're trying to sell that certain thing. Mm-hmm. Then when that frequency comes up, which in this case is every 30 days because they're trying to sell new magazines, you then get into the driver's seat because what happens is they are now trying to sell where it's April, so they're going to be trying to sell May. Yeah. Right? Same thing goes with the vehicle that you drive. They're trying to sell the 2020 versions because that's what's in stock now. Right? The 2019s are done. Right? And so you have to realize that those people are not on your team, that you need to be in the driver's seat. If you ever come to one of my performances where I'm working on my comedy, actually, I'm terrible at comedy, but if you ever come to my performance where I'm giving like a presentation, I talk about being in the driver's seat, and it's exactly that, but I use a picture of Will Ferrell and like the puma, or the cougar from Talladega Nights. Okay. I was trying to learn.
Sounds terribly comedic.
Thanks. And on the next episode of Between Two Ferns Trees, we only have one host because the other one was kicked out. But you have to be in the driver's seat. And the reason that's important is because as much as it sucks to hear this, no one else cares about you, right? You have to care about yourself. And so if you're not pushing out your accolades, the things that are great, the content that people are looking for, it's very unlikely that people find you. So get in the driver's seat. I'm not saying post, a billion times a day, but I'm saying you have to control those things.
Yeah. Let me add here. So in addition to awards, especially for those startups out there, if you're working on fresh ideas, the same goes for competitions.
Yeah.
Business plan competitions, business model competitions, pitch competitions in general. Maybe it would surprise you, maybe not, but there are not a lot of applicants. I suppose, again, it's because folks are reluctant to come out of their comfort zone and put themselves out there. Maybe it's fear of failure, fear of regret, whatever is the case. But, I run or help run 757 Pitch. We've done it 12. This will be the 12th one. We're doing May 21st at Zyder's American Dream Theater in Virginia Beach Town Center, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. It's a great show. Come on out. It's open, free to the public. But the point is, I would have expected that we would have gotten a lot more applications. We generally get maybe 15 or 20 on a rolling basis. We do this competition every
25% chance to make it.
Right. So, we select 5 teams every 2 months. And so your chances are high if you just apply. Now, you want to put forth a quality application. Having been a judge for numerous things, there are some that you wonder why did they even spend any time at all doing this, because it was just so lackluster. The questions are barely answered, if even addressed at all. And there's no way you're going to win. So put the time and effort into it. And as we said earlier, make sure you're tracking your answers to these questions, because, if you're growing your business, there will be more things that you ought to be applying to, whether it's competitions or awards. And you can just, pick and pull from your canned answers and just cater them a bit. Make sure you cater them. And sort of edit them for the specific thing that you are applying for presently.
I believe the answer is people will constantly say, why not me? Well, you're not putting your name in the hat, right? And so this, startreal.org, very much a local channel.
Right.
Right? You're listening to this, you have a business that fits the criteria, right? For 757 Pitch, which is an event run by Startreal
and ODU.
And you're not applying, you're probably coming up with excuses, right? And so
you're not ready yet, you're not quite there, which may or may not be the case, but if you don't apply, you don't know. Honestly,
who cares? Most of these people who get up there who are qualified then get on stage and suck, or vice versa, right? And so there's just get out. Get out and start showing people, because what you'll learn is that other people will help you. Their first pit, I like to look at things, correlate things to other examples. So people are like, well, I sucked on this interview when I was trying to get this new job. Okay, an interview is kind of like performing at 757 Pitch, right? You probably are interviewing for a new job maybe 15 times in your lifetime, right? That means maybe 15 hours worth of work in your lifetime for the general person, right? I know there's more people and less people, whatever. Generally 15 times. Of course you're going to suck on interviews, right? Of course you're going to be terrible your first presentation. That's why you practice. That's why you go to other events in town too. The 1 Million Cups, the startup nights, the other opportunities, the garage bands. You get in front of other people and you practice.
Yeah.
You take the copy that you want to put and you have other people start reading it. If you don't start doing those things, you can't come up with these excuses. I'm not winning because, right? That's this. Stop. There's plenty of reasons why you can be accepted. You can get more out of it. But if you don't apply, if you don't put yourself in those situations, in my opinion, you're not allowed to have that opinion no excuses allowed. Put yourself in the scenario. Learn why you didn't win. get
So
accepted, etc.
we've hit a lot on simply apply. If you qualify, apply. But let's assume that folks out here already are applying. How can they increase their chances along the way of winning? Are there specific things you can prescribe? I have a few if you don't, but anything you can prescribe to increase your chances of winning.
Yeah, so the first thing I would do is have some sort of general description of the things that you want. Have other people, that's like a Google document. So for me, it's basically like Anomaly speaking tour is kind of my document, right? So I constantly have questions that people are asking me the same thing, like what's the title of your talk, description of your talk, who is this for, right? Making sure when I'm applying that I'm actually, if it's the group is apartment management, people associated with apartment management, making sure that my word doesn't say like professors, right? Like making sure that the keywords that need to be in there are the right thing. A lot of times, we're both on the 757 Accelerate board, right? We were just talking about earlier how that is opening up tomorrow. And how some of the people will self-filter themselves out because they'll say, oh, I'm applying to other accelerator in the country.
Yeah, they don't even respond to the question that's being asked.
Number one, make sure that you're filtering your answers to what that thing is, right? Number two is ask people that are your customers, good friends that will give you real answers to look at what you're saying, right? See if that is. And then start applying and see if you get accepted and figure out where people are finicky about what you're talking about. And then you can move that stuff around. So like my talks, I have certain things where I change it. And so I'm constantly changing stuff, A/B testing, copy that goes to people that like I have to look at and say, okay, like why is this not being accepted? I get no, like I got 3 no's last week for talks across the country, right? I apply to at least 1 a day. So I got 3 no's basically because they're all submitted in the same time frame. Why, right? And so when they tell me, I will tell you your answer. We'll tell you why you didn't get in. Figure out why, and then also ask them why you were not accepted. Learn from it. What's up, Chrissy?
I'll add to that.
And Kim.
Probably look at past winners of these awards, if possible. If you could do a little digging, this goes for competitions as well.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at, especially if these winners were highlighted in the media outlets, publication that offered the award, what did they talk about in the article or the press that they gave the winner? And make sure you're hitting on. So, do they have a skew toward social ventures or social entrepreneurship? Are they interested in highlighting female achievement or minority achievement or
if there's a highlight or a theme that year?
If there's a theme, or if that media publication tends to skew in one direction or the other, whatever that direction may be, if you can highlight some of those things in your application, it will be stronger. Especially, I'll add another, for local awards, the judges are going to be sourced from the community, right? They're going to be just like you are.
Oftentimes,
they're doing things. They know people. They're out at other events and rub shoulders and so forth. And so if you go out and, as Zach was saying, do speaking events, put yourself out there in various ways. Get out of your comfort zone if you have to do that. But get out there and, make a name for yourself locally. And you'll probably, just by nature of us being social, human beings, and the judges as well being human, if they've heard your name, you probably already have, a bonus point.
And people are going to say, "Oh, that's cheating." I get it. You're trying to win the game, right? If that person knows you a little bit more, it's better. So like something that I used to work in TV news, and something that I learned as someone who was helping hiring some of the employees is we received at the time a lot of DVDs and tapes of their newsreels, their sizzle reels that basically are the thing that they showcase. It's their resume, basically a video resume. And the ones that, so let's say a job opening comes up, you get 100, 250, and you got to look through all these things. And so they all look the same. They're all, hi, I'm so-and-so on the news scene, whatever. But the ones that did a little bit more.
What would you call them?
There were anomalies. Right, yeah. I'm like, I don't know what word you're looking for. My word.
Well, that's your key word.
Yeah, anomaly. Yeah. The ones that were anomalies, the ones that did a little bit more, were ones that sent a handwritten card to the hiring manager beforehand. Ones that would send cookie text or a bunch of pizzas to the newsroom because they realized that if they could spend $50 to get seen, then that might help them improve their chances. Right. So people go, oh, well, that's unfair. Totally. It's totally unfair. But are you trying to win? Or are you trying to go above and beyond? And so when you're competing against 200 other people, or even 20 other people, you have to do things that will get your attention.
Now, we're not advocating, or at least I am not, advocating doing anything unethical or with a lack of integrity. You don't want to, ask for favors in return.
Correct. So like if you're applying to a job, I would send a handwritten card to the person hiring and saying, I look forward to the opportunity to work with you. I look forward to you reviewing my resume, right? So I just spoke at an event last week. It was a call for speakers. When I sent in my application, 2 days later, I sent a handwritten card that says, hey, the person who is the person judging this stuff that's going to bring on the people, I look forward to dropping the mic and, burning the roof down at your conference in April. Right? Then I get it. I get the job. I get the speaking opportunity. It happened last week. Literally on my way here today, guess what I did? I sent another handwritten card saying, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to 2020. Mm-hmm. And I sent a handwritten, that was the handwritten card, and I sent a book with it. Right? Now, yes,
I could go through a lot of pens, Zach.
No, these are the things that get people seen, right? Yeah. And so, I get it. People are like, oh, that takes a lot of time. It takes a couple of minutes and a couple of bucks. And people see me, and people remember it. And so, are you willing to do that? Or are you willing to, get in with the other 100 people? I don't want to compete against those 100 people. I want to do things that I can be in the driver's seat with and control that. Because I know this. When was the last time you got a handwritten card? Have I ever sent you a handwritten card?
Yes.
I have. I have? Great. Love it.
I'm just answering. I get handwritten cards, and it always warms me. And then my next thought is, man, I should do this more often.
Okay, so I have an example here. So this is my so whenever someone's on my podcast, I send them a card. The hardest thing is getting their address. Sometimes I don't get it. So this is actually a card that I sent to Brian. I never got his address, so he never got the card. But here's an example, right? There it is. I have my name on some cards. That's it. Send it out. It's $1.50 to send that out. 2 minutes of time, right? This is one from the Red Hawk, Elizabeth Duncan Hawker. She sent me a card because I spoke at her event. Same theory. Same kind of idea. Boom. There's that. Now, this is for you. This is what I would do. And for everyone out here, you go to Amazon after this. You type in thank you cards. You get 200 multicolored. $16. You get this card. You get this with it. You put someone's name on it. Chris, thanks for blah, blah, blah. Hope to blah, 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 Zach. Mm-hmm. Right? Christy was watching earlier. I've sent her one. I know that. Right? And she goes, oh, thanks for saying that. It's a nice touch. People don't see it. The same thing as the video thing where I've done for you.
Right.
Right? It's the same thing. Do the little things. Mm-hmm. Be seen. Right? You're doing it because you genuinely are thankful for the person potentially giving you the time of day. Or if they have given the time of day, do it.
Sure. And usually they're going to, like the handwritten thank you cards I get at least, I certainly don't throw them immediately in the trash can. They're going to, because that would be a horrible, mean thing to do. But they're probably going to stick around on your desk for a while, or maybe you put them up on your, tab
or you're talking about them on a video months later.
There you go. You never know.
Do the little things. I don't know. I think people are ridiculously lazy. They're excuse-filled immediately. And there's plenty of things that cost. If you found out that it costs you $50 to acquire a client, right? Or you could do it by sending a bunch of handwritten cards for $2 in 3 minutes. Which one are you going to do? A lot of people will do the 50. Mm-hmm. But instead, the longer impact is the handwritten card.
Yeah. And the easier lift. Cheaper lift, at least. So let's go ahead and move to wrap this up. You've heard a lot of content here. We're going to, this exists on Facebook Live certainly, but it will get buried quickly. So we'll resurface it on YouTube and in the article that Zach and I are writing about awards. If you qualify, apply. And we'll be posting that on Startwheel. in the coming days. So be on the lookout for that. Zach, oh, by the way, most of this content, if not all of it, and plus a lot more, you can find in Zach's book, Anomaly. How to finally stand out from the crowd. You can pick it up on Amazon or Audible or maybe some other channels, your website too. You can find more about it on his website. But
Target, Walmart, if you live locally, Prince Books. I learned it's at Target. Imagine that.
Anomaly method.
Just Anomaly. And I personally love the audiobook. I know that's how you listen to it.
I did.
It's a little different, slightly different, 3% different. It's my voice, 6 hours. I know you love that part. You listen to it at night, though, going to sleep.
No. No, I listen to it in the vehicle. I listen to podcasts going to sleep, but I don't want you to give me a lullaby. I like you, but not that much. But so if you qualify, apply. It's been fun. It's been Between Two Trees That Are Fake with Zack and Chris.
Deuces. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. See you guys again in the future. Peace.
Sign off.
And love. Signing off. Laters. Do something funny like...